Hello everyone, this is Dr. Achal and I welcome you again in our subject module titled as Services Marketing. In our previous discourse, we have dealt with the concept of interactive marketing, and in today's discussion, we will be further elaborating the same concept of interactive marketing, which is very much being important enough to understand and to know the technicalities of this aspect. So in today's discussion, we will be dealing that what are the important methods that can be seen for the purpose of pursuing out this strategy of the interactive marketing. That is an imperative strategy to be understood by the marketers. So moving on with the slide, here this slide says that as we have previously dealt that the concept of interactive marketing, it is very much being pronounced enough in today's competitive scenario to have a good interaction, to have a sound interaction amongst the producers and amongst the consumers or the customers. So in order to have this efficient interaction in any of the form, in today's discussion we will be dealing that prominently we can go in for adoption of 3 of the methods that are suitable enough to be understood by the marketers, especially in case of the services discipline. So here the slide itself, it is self-explanatory and it deals about the different tools and the different methods of the interactive marketing strategy, and it says that the interactive marketing uses 3 of the methods. The very first as interactive communication, the second one as loyal customer programs, and the third one is an after marketing activities. So interactive communication, we know that the communication, it is an important tool to getting connected with an audience. How you are trying to get connected with the audience, how you are trying to have an association with them, building up ties, trying to develop loyalty and a trust amongst them. So this communication is an important tool and a technique to get in touch with your with your target audience, and not only amongst the target audience. We know that the concept of the holistic marketing, it all deals within a fact that here we have to craft out a strategy which is very much being beneficial enough for the target audience, and not only from the target audience, from the benefit, we should be able to produce out the benefit for the society at large. So interactive communication, how we are trying to get connected with the audience, an important approach to be taken care of by the marketers. Interactive means here when the communication is being done by the producers or by the manufacturers, the way they are trying to get connected with the things, how they are trying to float out the messages in the form of the promotional appeals, the way they are trying to draft out the advertisement message in the advertisement copy, how they are channelizing out their resources in the form of the adoption of a different tool and the technique that is best being suited to the audience. Now those factors has to be taken into consideration. When the communication is being proposed by the marketers or by the service organization, it should be communicated, and then the comprehension should be made by the receiver in the same sense. It means that whenever the communication is being done by the sender, that message should be understood, it should be comprehended and assimilated by the receiver in the same sense, in the same perspective in which the sender is trying to float out their message or the information. So this interactive communication is very much being important enough, especially in case of the services arena, because we know that services themselves, they are very much being abstract in nature, and we are dealing out with an abstractness. We are dealing out with the deeds and the associations and the phenomena which are abstract, which are intangible, which are basically variable and inconsistent. So in case of the services, especially it is very much being important enough to get always being connected or to have a direct approach with the people to whom we want to offer out our services. Now, the second one is developing out the loyal customer programs. We know that earlier also we have discussed out the fact that the people and the customers or the consumers who are developing trust and loyalty for your offerings, or who are very much being termed as a hardcore loyalist customers, they should be duly awarded with certain kind of things. They should be duly awarded with certain kind of offering with certain kind of bonuses or the premiums, or they themselves should be treated as premium customers for the organization. So developing a program or the organizing an event for them, especially for the hardcore loyalist customers, the people who are softcore loyalist, but that trustworthiness and the loyalty which is being shown by the audience, which is being shown by the consumers or the customers, should be duly rewarded by the organization by their own way, so that the association and the ties will be it will be seen in the years to come also. Now the third one is in after marketing services, the third strategy or the third tool is after marketing activities. Now this method, that is after marketing activities, we know that we are living in this dynamic and in a competitive scenario. We are not only being concerned towards the production of the commodities and after the production the things are being completed or the phenomena are being completed, but it is not so in this today's competitive scenario. We are after the production is being made, after the disposition, proper disposition is being made to the target audience, we as a marketer, we have to just foresee that that even if after the proper disposition, certain kind of after sale services, certain kind of after sale offerings should be given out to the customers, and those offerings which is being disposed of by the marketers or the organization, in order to have an effective delivery process, in order to have an effective assimilation and the consumption of the services, they are an important tool to be reminded by the customers, or they are the important tool wherein the customers and the consumers are trying to remember out your offerings and the brand for a longer period of time. So this offering of the after sales activities, this offering of the marketing activities, even if after the final purchase is being done by the producers, we do have to take into consideration that this aspect of the after sales should be duly being given to the customers, so that the proper reinforcement may be done amongst their purchasing habit, and that reinforcement will be in the form of the recalling, and they will be they will be developing that, that learned habit. That reinforcement will be helping them to have a formation of the learned habit, and that learning mechanism will be helping them out to go in for the purchase process of the specific brand again and again for the coming years. Now this slide is an elaborate discussion of what we have dealt in our previous discourse, that is the different important methods, and one of the important method of pursuing out the strategy of interactive marketing is an interactive communication. So this is strategy, this is strategy of the interactive communication. Here it is being written here in the slide that how to just go in for the interactive communication. It is all being discussed in this particular slide. And we are saying that these communications are the direct contact with the customer. In interactive marketing, the approach most commonly used in direct marketing, which is a personal approach and gives opportunity to respond. This is one method where both verbal and non-verbal responses can be picked up by the trained customer contact employees for the benefit of the organization. Direct marketing uses direct mail, direct response advertising with a coupon in the advertisement, and direct response television in which telephone number is visible, and its success is measured by the response rate. So the purpose of interactive communication is to know more about the customer. Interactive communication helps in assembling information about the customer preferences and purchasing behavior. Through this information, we can know the different the essentialities of the customer. So we are seeing that the interactive communications, they are the direct contact with the customer, and through this approach, which is commonly being used in the direct marketing, that is, we are saying that in the interactive communication strategy, we are trying to have a direct contact with the customers, and this interactive communication is being talked of as one of the important approach which is being used in the direct marketing method. In the case of the direct marketing, we know that there is a personal approach which is being made by the marketer, by the producer, and if this is personal in nature, this is very much being direct in nature, as the word itself is speaking of the fact that here the direct communication is being made in case of the direct communication, in case of the interactive communication. So in the field of the direct marketing, the interactive communication is being placed by the marketers, by the producers to have a direct association with the customers, and if the customers and the consumers are in touch I mean they are in touch with the service provided by the organization, definitely they will be giving out a good response, or their response will be more being effective enough to gauge upon whether the response is positive or whether the response is negative. We as an organization will be able to gauge and check out the efficacy and the effectiveness of the response that is being delivered by the customers. So, this is one of the method where both verbal and the non-verbal communications and the responses can be picked up by the trained customer contact employees for the benefit of the organization. We are further seeing that in the interactive communication, which is being talked of as one of the important tool to be used in the direct marketing, we are seeing that both the verbal and the non-verbal responses of the customers and the consumers can be measured, it can be monitored, and it can be recorded. Because in cases of the services, we know that services in case of the services, there are certain categories of the services which are pure in nature, wherein the credence qualities is being difficult to measure, and when the credence quality is being difficult to measure, it means they are the pure kind of services to be treated upon, like the services that is being offered by the medical practitioners, the services that is being rendered by the legal consultants. So, as they are very much being pure in nature, they are abstract in nature, they are very much being intangible in nature. So, what are the feedbacks, what are the responses which the customers and the consumers are trying to give to the marketer, to the producer, or to the provider of the services? That is an important criteria to improve your offerings. So, in case of the pure and basic essential services, wherein the intangibility factor is more prominent as compared to the tangibility evidence, we as a producer and the marketer, we are trying to gauge and we are trying to gather out both the responses which is being placed by the customers in the form of the verbal and the non-verbal responses, and that is being measured and recorded by the trained employees of your organization. And we have already discussed that these are the employees who are working as frontline executives of your organization, having a direct association with the customers. So, these trained customer contact employees, they are recording, they are gauging out, they are measuring out the responses and of the suggestions and the improvements and the feedbacks of the customers to be treated as on an urgent basis, and these informations which is being floated by the consumers and the customers will be acting as an asset for getting more improved, or for the purpose of getting their functionality more improved, or for the purpose of making certain kind of improvisations, additions and the deletions in the functionality of the organization itself, being talking of with regard to the restructuring of the organization, talking of with regard to making certain kind of alterations and modifications in the product item, and the product layers, or in the product in the product offering. Any kind of suggestions and improvement, it is a welcome step to be catered on by the marketer, and that will be acting as a good tool to make further improvements in the years to come with regard to the primary offering which the customers are which the producers are trying to give to the customers. Now, direct marketing uses direct mail, direct response advertisement with a coupon in the advertisement, and direct response television, in which television number is. We are elaborating that direct marketing uses direct mail, direct response advertisement, wherein a coupon is being inserted in the advertisement, and direct response television, in which telephone number is visible and its success is measured by the response rate. So, direct marketing, we are saying that for the purpose of pursuing out the strategy of the direct marketing, we are going in for the adoption of any of the tool, that is direct mail. It can be used, it can be governed through the help of the direct mail. Either we can, as a marketer, we are trying to mail out certain kind of information to the audience in the form of email marketing. Similarly, direct response advertisement can also be undertaken upon, in which a coupon is being inserted in the advertisement, and then the response and the response of the customer is being gauged when the particular coupon is being inserted in a specific advertisement. What is in the customer, whether the customer is being using out the product, whether after the users, whether the customer is being satisfied, or what is in a kind of improvement and suggestions that they are trying to give upon. So, this is also yet one of the method wherein the direct response advertisement can be treated as a tool for the direct marketing method. Now further we are seeing that there can be another form of direct marketing wherein the direct response television is being talked of, and here we are displaying out the telephone number in the direct response television. Certain kind of offering is being placed with the help of the broadcast media, and when the information is being floated with the help of the broadcast media, we are at the same point of time we are floating on, we are popping up the telephone numbers, so that the customers and the consumers or the people who are sitting at the comfort of their zone, they will be able to assess the offering of our, they will be able to assess our offerings by sitting at the comfort of their home or the comfort of anywhere they are sitting out, they will be able to assess out our services. So this telephone number is clearly being flashed in the broadcast media whenever the offering is being, the information of the offering is being placed in the broadcast media. At the same point of time, the telephone number is also being visible to the audience, and the audience are being expected enough to give out their suggestions and to come up with the feedbacks and the improvement that they want to have upon with the offering, and certain kind of alterations can also be done and improvements can also be suggested upon. So now these are the methods, that is, either we can go in for the direct mail, or either we are going in for the direct response advertisement, or we are just trying to rely upon the direct response television. Now these are the methods that are primarily being used on the direct marketing method, and through these techniques, we as an organization and the marketer, we are able to recognize the success of the crafting of our, the promotional appeal, the crafting of our product, the success of crafting out over 7 P's in fact, which is all being related within a product, price, place, promotion, and apart from the 4 conventional P's, we are having people, process and physical evidence in the cases of services arena. So their effectiveness and their success rate can be measured by the response that is being given by the customers and the consumers. Now we are elaborating and saying that the purpose of interactive communication is to know more about the customer. Interactive communication helps in assembling the information about the customer preferences and the purchasing behavior. We know that the word interactive communication here itself is self-explanatory, wherein we as a producer, as a manufacturer, we are trying to have an effective interaction amongst the customers. Now this effective interaction is a way in which we are trying to have a direct association. The effective interaction is being gauged in the sense that we as a producer, we are trying to measure the efficacy of our interaction rate. We are able to measure the efficacy and the efficiency with which we are trying to get connected with the audience. We are able enough to record and to measure and to evaluate out the responses, the feedbacks, or the suggestions, or the improvements which is being suggested by the customers. Their changing preferences can also be recorded, because definitely if they are making out certain suggestions, they are coming up with certain improvements, it means that their preferences and aspirations are changing with regard to the primary offerings which the producers are trying to give them out, and the purchasing behavior at the same point of time, the purchasing behavior also getting changed. We know that we are living in this competitive scenario, so the different psychological attributes, the different psychological determinants of the consumer purchase behavior, they are in the form of motivation, perception, learning, attitudes, personality. So all these are the psychological variables to be understood by the marketers, because they are definitely affecting the purchase behavior of the consumers. And apart from the psychological variables, we know that the economic determinants in the form of the personal income, the consumer liquid assets, the family income, the consumer's expectation regarding their income in the future, the credit availability in the market area, they are the economic determinants, and they are also playing a profound role towards influencing the purchase behavior of the consumers. Apart from the economic determinants and the psychological determinants, we do have to take into account that they are psychological, they are sociological determinants which are also affecting the purchase pattern of the consumers, and they are in the form of social class, opinion leaders, references groups, social class and caste, the cultural beliefs. It means that we as a marketer, we should be able to comprehend all these kind of variables which are in totality affecting the purchase process and the way the customers are moving in for the buying behavior, the buying behavior are being affected. Either we are taking off the account of, either we are talking of with the regard to the economic determinants, or either we are referring to the psychological determinants, or whether we have to, we are just trying to associate with the sociological determinants. So, as an effective and a proactive marketer, we have to have that particular kind of interaction, that is interactive communication is being placed by the firm with the consumers, with the customers, and then there by going in for this particular kind of a strategy, that is the effective or the effective interactive communication will be able to sense out the changing needs and the preferences of the customers, their aspirations, which are in the form of the psychological determinants affecting the purchase process of the consumers. Now, all these information will be helping the firm organization to make their improvements in the organizational culture, in their organization belief, and the way they are crafting out their strategies in terms of the 7 Ps. Now, moving on, this is earlier we have said that through this information we can know about the different kind of things which are happening in the from the customer's perspective, that is changes that are happening from the customer's perspective, that is the profile of the customer, what he has purchased, how much he has purchased. Profile of the customer means that whether the customer what is the target audience towards whom we are trying to craft out our strategies, whether they are the demographic validation. Basically, the profile of the customers means their demographic validation in terms of the age, size, marital status, education, occupation. All these can be channelized, it can be sensed when we are having a direct communication with the customers. What he has purchased, the second question it is being talked of in the sense of the what he has purchased, the primary offering towards which he has shown his buying behavior, he has moved in for the purchase process, what he has purchased, the nature of the offering, and the third one is how much he has purchased, the quantity of the offerings that he has purchased, that he has moved in for the purchase process. So, the profile, that is demographic validation of the customers or the consumers, the nature of the offering towards whom they have inclined enough to move in for the purchase process, and the quantity and the quantum of the purchase decision that is being made by the customers. So, all these kind of information can be garnered, it can be collected through having a if the organization is moving for the effective interactive communication. Now, we are saying that equipped with this information, a customer can be approached more intensively. Intensive distribution, as we know that if we as a marketer or an organization, if we have garnered out or we have made out our effort prior towards moving on with the next step of offering or giving them more lucrative mechanism to move in for the purchase process, we should be having certain kind of effort, we should be undergoing in for certain kind of endeavor towards knowing out that who are the people towards whom we have to cater on our efforts, that is their demographic validation should be counted enough, it should be measured enough. The nature of their inclination, the nature of the aspirations towards whom they are moving in for the purchase process, and the quantity of the purchase decision, all should be measured by the by the marketers, by the producers. Now, after gathering or after gauging out these kind of information, these informations will be helping the producers or the manufacturers to dispose of their offerings more intensively to the target audience. Now, we know that there can be conventionally there can be 3 methods to have a proper disposition of the offerings, like we can have an intensive way of distribution channel, we can have a selective way, we can have a as opposite to intensive, we can have an exclusive distribution channel. Now, intensively as a word itself speaks of the fact that here we are aggressively promoting out our offerings in each and every outlet, so that the customers are having an ease and accessibility to go in for the purchase process when and wherever they want to have upon. So, we are saying that yes, this intensive distribution is possible when we as an organization, we have garnered and we have collected out the information of the customers regarding their purchase pattern, regarding their changing preferences, regarding the quantity of the purchase, regarding the nature of the purchase, and their different kind of demographic validation will be helping us out to go in for the adoption of the intensive distribution channel. Now, we are saying that in the present scenario, of information explosion, the electronic interactive communication technologies have surpassed as tools to facilitate such a relationship. One exception, actual face-to-face communication with all your customers, an impossibility in the day and age. Pressure on the internet is one example on how a company can utilize new technologies to interact with customers. The cyberspace is available to any company regardless of budget limitations. You can make your presence as low key as email address or as an elaborate as in a full multimedia homepage. Now, we are saying that we all are living in this competitive and is in a with the advent of the technological revolution, we all are living in this IT world, wherein the boom of the information technology is being experienced by each one of us. So, as we are experiencing the different kind of revolutionary changes, our purchase pattern are changing, our aspirations, definitely it will be having a profound influence towards our aspirations and the purchase pattern through which we are undergoing in with. So, this interactive communication is being possible. At many point of time, it is not very much being feasible enough for the marketers to have a direct approach with the customers in this digitalized world. So, what they are trying to do, we are saying that the electronic interactive communication they are being talked of as a very important tool in this today's changing scenario, and they are acting as they are being talked of as an important tool to facilitate and to get connected with the customers, because feasibly, practically, it is not possible for the organization to be connected with the customers on one-to-one basis in person. So, in this today's changing and transforming changes are being witnessed in today's dynamic environment. So, the marketers and the organization, they are trying to get connected with the audience through the virtual mode also, and that is also feasible for them, because either if we are trying to get associated with the customers through digital mode or taking the use of the internet, the company can be using out and coming out with an innovative kind of technologies to interact with the customers. They can be just arranging out the webinars, they can be going for the arrangement of some seminars or some other kind of tools. The apps can be used so that the customers are having a greater accessibility, and the prompt services can be given to the people and to the customers. And by this way, that is by the using out the different tools and the techniques of the digital mode, the marketers can also be able to personalize or to give out the customized approach to the to the customers. So, this cyber space is available to any company regardless of the budget and the limitations. We know that even if the company is operating, or if the organization is operating on a smaller scale, you can be able to make out your presence being felt in this digitalized world by the click of an advertisement through the we can take out that you are just trying to click out, or you are trying to frame out your advertisement, trying to get connected with the audience in the form of the newsletters, floating out your newsletters and the advertisement through the email messages of the customers. And even if you as a marketer, you can be able enough to create your own home page, so that around the world, the customers who are living in around the world, they can be able and accessible enough to just use out your and to have an access about your services and the offerings sitting at the comfort of their home, or at their anywhere they are sitting in the whole world, they will be able to access the information of your offering. So, this can be this can be done by any kind of firm, whether the firm is operating at a smaller scale or the firm is operating at a bigger scale. Now, in this slide, we are seeing that the use of this technology communicates that your company wants to be get connected with the customers. The customer oriented organization enhance their traditional telephone customer service through the use of the customer profile developed on the computer database. Employees can enter useful information about the customers as they converse with them via customer service call. Other employees can access that information during a future interaction in an effort to personalize out the services. Customer loyalty programs and after marketing are the constituents of the interactive marketing, which can play crucial role in creating out the customer loyalty. Now we know that in our previous discourse we have said that we are being flooded with the different kind of information with the help of the information technology, and this the use of the internet, it has created a platform which is very much being accessible and which is very much being they are very much being versatile enough for the different parties who are trying to who are trying to make out their transaction in this globalized scenario. So talking of from the perspective of the buyers are also definitely they are being able enough to get the access of any kind of thing, any kind of information, any kind of service, any kind of product. They are sitting anywhere else in the world, they are sitting anywhere in the world, but they are able enough to get the prompt delivery of the services, the prompt delivery of the offerings which they are trying to get upon because of the use of the digitalized mode. The same way, talking of from the perspective of the buyers, talking of from the point of view of the sellers or the pre-users, the manufacturers also are in a mood to have an easy connect and easy access with the target audience, and not only with the target audience, they can be able enough to get connected with the people who are there in the environment and to float out the information about their offerings in a very effective way. So this information technology, the use of the information technology, which has created a very profound impact on both the parties, that is buyers and the sellers, and they are easily being enough to get connected with them. In the case of the traditional media, we are seeing that the customer oriented organization, they are using out their traditional telephone customer service through the use of the customer profile developed in the consumer database. Now we are seeing that definitely each and every organization, they are customer oriented, and it is being prominently seen that different kind of e-platforms, the different organization, they are trying to create out a customer database by getting connected with the customers through internet, through computer. They are making out the telephone calls, and when the information is being given by the customers regarding their, if they are trying to suggest something new, if they are trying to get, they are trying to have certain kind of improvement in the core offerings, if they want to have certain kind of changes or alterations in the way the delivery is being made to them, if the transaction is happening through the virtual mode, if they are making certain kind of alterations in the disposition process, in the purchase process, they can be able to get connected with the with the service provider, and here the customer profile will be created by the frontline executives trying to get connected with you, and they will be developing and they will be recording out your customer database. Now that customer database will be helping the employees of the organization to record out your information and to have an easy conversation with you as and when it is being needed in the future also. So this by clubbing out or by going in for this particular kind of approach, the organization will be able enough to give out your personalized services. Further, we are seeing that this interactive communication or by going in for the interactive communication, the customer loyalty programs and after marketing, they are also the different constituents towards improving or towards making out this strategy of interactive marketing to be treated as an important basis. We can just be able enough to undergo in the adoption of the customer loyalty programs, or the after marketing services can also be floated by the marketers to adopt or to go in for the effective interactive marketing strategy, and that will be playing a very crucial role towards creating a customer loyalty and the customers trust. So this was all about the concept of the interactive marketing, and what are the methods that the marketer or the organization has to go in for choosing and for deploying out the strategy of the interactive marketing. This was all we have discussed in today's discussion. So we will be moving out with another new topic in the next discourse. So till then, stay safe and stay blessed. Thank you all for joining with me.